Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful but rainy, which nothing wrong with rain, is there? Wednesday, May 14th, year of our Lord 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show, and I am he. Broadcasting today from the United States of America. And I could prove it. The President of the United States is overseas, and he is being respected. It's also the place where the brave, like the veterans we lost this year, but honored today thanks to John Basiliga and his fine companies. They've made us and kept us free. Like Alan Stauffer of Zion Grove, Ralph Lowry of Scranton, Joseph Giambetti of Jessup, Mary Campagna of West Pittston, and Brian Shannon of Exeter. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our remarkable, incredible, indispensable founding fathers, that government is not, shall not be, cannot be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things, but is nothing more than a necessary evil we require to organize and protect society. The United States of America, the country where for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. Freedom could not be parceled out to groups. It could not be controlled by government or government officials. Our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and yes, freedom of the press. And if they lie, so what? We know better. We do. Now, armed with these freedoms, and only because we had them, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. Now, I don't have the darn soundboard. I dropped it on the way down the hallway, I think. But we can still gavel to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense. We're committed to common sense. Really, that's all we're committed to. Well, in pursuit of the greatness of our country. And we will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you for the balance of this morning. Now, for our left-wing lunatic friends who are listening, and I know you're there, and I know there are many, many, many of you, I tell you it's not a safe harbor for stupidity. We will not suffer fools gladly, so as much as we love you, we don't have time for silliness here. We just don't. Don't be mad at us because we've only got so much to do. Somebody said, perfect opening to follow up the fear-mongering from this morning. I didn't hear it. Listen, nonsense has no curfew. As a friend of mine in prison used to say all the time, nonsense has no curfew. Somebody texted, morning, Bob, LTS. LTS back at you. Trump's speech in Saudi Arabia was fantastic. Yes, it was. One thing I know, Arabs don't respect weakness but admire strength. Rodney, you are 100% right. And I said that to a group text that I'm on. Joe from Trips Park says, hands down best show opening on radio, LTS back at you. But thank you for that. We work at that. But I'm telling you, it's an incredible thing to watch as these Democrats. I don't know how you couldn't be ashamed. I really don't know. If you claim to be, or you might be, or you're saying, I vote Democrat. You've got to be ashamed of yourself. How come you can't? I don't get it. I say this so often. I don't understand the loyalty to a political party that doesn't make any sense. That is against you. It's against your interests. They literally care more, and let me use the Democrat word. This is Jasmine Crockett and AOC. They literally they care more about criminal illegal immigrants than any American citizen. I don't understand it. So let's quickly, well, maybe I should go to break, but I've got a 5 to follow that I want to go through. I want to, because I want to give each a little bit of time. So we'll take this break, hear from our great sponsors. By the way, 2 big things. B.B. King died, Murph pointed out. He passed away at age 89 in 2015, this date. And then in 1998, Frank Sinatra passed away. So we're going to play Sinatra and B.B. King today. Murph caught that and said, and I said, Murph, you're the man, do it. So he did it. So we'll hear a little history, a little music, and then back to you, 5 to follow and more. You got to play a lot of that. You do. That's life. 1966, Frank Sinatra. And on this date, 1998, he passed away at age 82 at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, Beverly Hills. He had his first hit, did Sinatra, in 1940 with Polka Dots and Moonbeams, and went on to have over 30 U.S. and 40 UK top 40 singles, selling over 150 million records worldwide, My Way. And, of course, from The Godfather and all that, we know he had a movie career as well. 1948, before that, according to the current era calendar, the independent state of Israel is proclaimed in Tel Aviv by David Ben-Gurion, who became the first prime minister of that state. President Harry S. Truman immediately recognized the new nation. And not that there wasn't turmoil before, and then madness ensued. and by the way, very important to know that a couple of things that I've always point out to you. Number one, Palestine was the name given to the conquered region by the Romans. Okay? So that's the name given to it. And the Jews were the first Palestinians. So you idiots running around protesting, hey, if you're pro-Palestine, you're pro-Israel. How about that? Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm not anti-Arab. I'm watching Trump on his tour, and it is remarkable. This is what leadership looks like. That's what leadership looks like. And so let's get to 5 to follow. Trump in Saudi Arabia. He's now in Qatar. You can pronounce it 9 different ways. I'll say Qatar. It's more American. It's Qatar. It's this. It's that. All that. So he's in Qatar today. He's recognized Syria's new government and has lifted sanctions on them. I think a tremendous move, by the way. It sends that while we are pro-Israeli, a strong signal that we are more than willing to be pro-Arab if they're not Islamist wackos. And the strength he's projecting on the stage, Jack from Florida nails it. He says, Jack from Florida says he looked very relaxed and comfortable on stage. Proud to have him represent the USA. Joe would still be trying to find his way off that giant stage. Yeah. He's totally comfortable in his own skin. That's a big deal. These vipers, whom he's surrounded by and dealing with, all know that. Now, it's a man's world. The Middle East is a man's world. Trump's a man. Why? That's why it works exceptionally well. So Trump in Saudi Arabia. And in the middle of all of this, he's got Marco Rubio going to Turkey, a possible meeting with Zelensky and Putin. Says he might even go if Putin shows up. It's hilarious. We've got the last American hostage being freed by Hamas, the last living hostage. It's a remarkable tour de force. And he brought all our business leaders in tow, and they are proud to be there, and they're going to be making money. Now, number 2, 5 to follow, Trump tariffs. We found out yesterday, and I'm happy to point it out every time, but I know that a lot of you get it, but I know some of you don't. They lied again. I told you There is no correlation and there is no causation between tariffs and inflation. I said that. Well, I mean, 2 months in a row, inflation's the lowest it's been in 4 years. Oh, since Joe Biden started screwing everything up. So the tariffs are doing their voodoo and making things happen with no ill effects to your day-to-day life. Number 3. Now, you have these idiots who they want to get arrested. Anywhere there's a camera, they will run and protest on behalf of illegal aliens and criminal illegal aliens. That's the insanity. Now, these Afrikaners, this is South Africans, they're also called Boers. Now, these are descendants of apartheid South Africans. Now, unfortunately, as the glow and amazing leadership of Nelson Mandela fades even further into the distance, you have amazing and scary racism in South Africa. These were 50-some-odd white South Africans, farmers, who claimed asylum and Trump gave it to them. And it's actually, look at, South Africa doesn't want them there. They hate white people. Isn't that amazing? Somehow the people who suffered the least from apartheid in South Africa are the ones who are the most bitter about it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So they're opposing the Afrikaners coming to America, but everybody else, including criminals, and maybe actually especially criminals, you are welcome. It's insane. And they're saying, oh, that's proof of white supremacy insanity. All right, whatever. These are the stupidest people on the planet. That's who we're dealing with. And then before he leaves, we want to mention it again, it's developing. Trump signed an executive order slashing drug prices in America. It could be a huge thing. It may be followed up with legislation. And then the Biden brain collapse. Yeah, the cover-up is falling up. It's falling apart from every angle. Yes, he was completely befuddled, confused, and stupid when he was president. There it is. It's over now. The Democrats are agreeing to it. The Biden brain collapse, and they're not even done yet. And this is coming from people who lied and lied and lied, defending his mental capacities. He was never bright to begin with. He was a clown. He was an idiot. Listen, I went to law school. He was bottom half of his law school. That doesn't mean you're very bright. In fact, it means you're stupid. Unbridled ambition brought him to where he got to, and incredible luck. So stupid person becomes addled. They lie about and cover it up because he was serving their purposes. But that's our 5 to follow. Let us take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. The eponymous program rolls on. We're going to come back with our Veterans Tribute. And then we've got David DeCosmo. I don't cover these kinds of stories. You know that. The Menendez brothers. But the intrepid David DeCosmo found a local angle, so we'll cover it, and we'll have him talk about it after the Veterans Tribute and the weather when we come back. Our veterans this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by John Basiliga and his great companies. The Wellspring, the first, the biggest, Eastern Roofing Systems. Commercial roofing, both construction management and installation, major institutional and commercial projects throughout the Eastern Seaboard. And they'll come to your home. They'll bring all that expertise and do it at your house. Eastern Roofing Systems. Serenity Care Personal Care Community. 4 locations, Mid-Valley, Old Forge, Wyoming, Kingston, including 2 for dementia units in the Mid-Valley and Kingston. Then J. Bass Realty. Most incredible apartments in all of Pennsylvania. And the best of Class A office space in Lackawanna and coming soon, Luzerne. And of course, Basiliga Hospitality. Restaurants and event space. Universal gift certificates available. BasiligaHospitality.com. Daniel Hooper, he was just 67 when we lost him March 24th. He was from Shavertown. A courageous battle with kidney cancer. He was born in Kingston. Member of the Wyoming Valley West Class of 75. Served proudly for 20 years in the Army Reserves. 2 tours in Iraq. He was also in the Persian Gulf and in Desert Storm. 35 years as a biomedical engineer for Geisinger ISS Solutions with a specialty in radiology. He enjoyed volunteering his time to youth sports. They called events that he ran Hooper Bowls. He's a hardworking man, dedicated and devoted husband, father, brother, grandfather, and friend. Tough as nails with a heart of gold. Surviving is his wife of 42 years, the former Marcia Hunsinger. Left to carry on his legacy are his children, daughter, granddaughters, and many other family members. Daniel Hooper. Brian Shannon. He was just 56 when he died March 17th. Born in Kingston. Former spouse Karen of Hanover. He was raised in Exeter. 1986 graduate of Wyoming Area High School. He earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in Criminal Justice Law Enforcement from Kutztown. Graduated from the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Glencoe, Georgia, and became a United States Capitol Police officer. Then was a special agent in Dignitary Protection Division for the United States under Congressman Richard Armey. He then became part of the security team for former speakers of the House, Newt Gingrich and Dennis Hastert. He then became a postal inspector, special agent. He retired from that position and then was a senior fraud investigator for a company called Guidehouse, as well as Goldsmith and Associates. Many family members left behind. Brian Shannon. Our veterans this hour, brought to you by the Basiliga companies. Well, I mean, do I need to tell you much about the weather? It's rainy. Snedeker tells us from Storm Tracker 16. Clouds with morning rain and drizzle. That's ongoing. 65 degrees. Tonight, cloudy with a chance of showers. 58. Thursday, clouds and some sun. Milder with a chance of showers. 75. Friday, clouds and sun. Chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms. 82. So it's getting warmer again. So, you know, you can call it a drizzle or rain or whatever. And so I got to get up at, 6 or so and take Chauncey out. And then you always have these little decisions all day. Right? And it didn't work out badly today. Do you bring the umbrella out? Well, you got to go into the closet and grab the umbrella. And, so I went out and just got a little wet. Chauncey doesn't like to be under the umbrella, so it doesn't really matter. And but it's drizzly. We needed the rain, guys. Don't complain about it. By the way, quickly, before I go to David DeCosmo, George & Company, Diamond Jewelers. A guy named George Duffy. He's been in the jewelry business since he's 11. I was good friends with his father, who was on Jewelers Row in downtown Scranton, Duffy Jewelers, forever. And now he's retiring. I can't believe it. Lost his wife back in 2021. But a nice article in the Scranton paper. Girl Gibbons wrote it. And I don't know. I just wanted to mention because he looked so much like his dad, a bigger version. And I loved him. I loved the dad. So congratulations to you, George. They're doing a retirement sale and all that. I'm a Bicardo's guy. I got my Bicardo's watch on. Don't you worry. But so I told you I'm not too interested in the Menendez brothers. Cutie made me watch the what was it? I don't know if it was a documentary or it was a documentary style series. I guess that's the best I could describe it. And it was interesting. It was. But, I mean, they're stone cold killers. They're greedy, spoiled kids. They were anyway. And now there's development because they've been resentenced and are now eligible for parole. That doesn't mean they're going to get it, but we'll see. But then David DeCosmo gets in touch. He says, there's a local angle. So I go, David? He said, are you interested? I said, anything you think is interesting, I think is interesting. And here's our man, David DeCosmo, with his own. Is this the theme song? Bulldog played the wrong theme. Where's the Mancini thing? There we go. Here's his theme song. David, welcome back to the Bob Cordaro Show.
Well, thanks, Bob. Of course, the Menendez brothers, Lylan and Eric, they're all over the news today. And yes, there was a Netflix documentary about them. Been books about them. They've been all over the headlines for years. They were both convicted of the murder of their mother and their father in 1989. And they've consistently asked for resentencing, hoping to get parole, because their original sentence was life without parole. Their argument is that their father, Jose Menendez, was abusive to them. And that ties in with the retrial that took place, the resentencing that took place yesterday. Now they're sentenced from 50 years to life, which means they're eligible for parole. But that father, Jose Menendez, has a local history. Bob, he came from Fidel Castro's Cuba in October of 1960, and he entered Hazleton High School, the old, what we called the Castle.
How about that?
Same place I graduated the year before, but I didn't know him because he came in October of 1960. And I'm looking into this father who now they say was abusive, leading them to kill in self-defense, as they're claiming. He was a popular guy in terms of publicity because he was a fantastic swimmer. And he was so good on the team there that he actually earned the scholarship.
Wow. That
got him into college and kicked off his career. What kind of a guy was he? There's not a heck of a lot about him. There was a newspaper article I found that described him as an avid party goer. I talked with a young woman, well, young at the time anyway, who was on the women's swimming team there. And she asked that her name not be used. But she remembers him, and one of the unique things she remembers was that in Hazleton High School, there was a time when the men's and the girls' swim team got together to put on a water ballet. And Jose Menendez thought that was silly, and he declined to participate. She said he was rather aloof. But was there any sign then of a man who would be abusive? Only from the standpoint that he seemed to be, as she put it, aloof. Most people didn't even remember him. He was only there from October until graduation in 1961, and his mom and dad came in. His dad was a frequent visitor to the United States, a businessman, and but Menendez stayed in Cunningham while he was in high school with the Travis Cox family. I can even tell you his homeroom, 119 at Hazleton High School. Now, in any case, this resentencing does allow for the possibility of parole, which is what they're hoping for. There would have to be a parole board hearing. The board would have to make a recommendation, and then the governor would have to act on the parole board's recommendation. And talk about ironic, that parole board hearing, Bob, is coming up on June 13th. June 13th will be the 61st anniversary of his father's graduation from Hazleton High School.
How about that? Serendipity.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. So, I couldn't let it go without acknowledging this local connection.
I had no idea he had a Hazleton connection. I think that's fascinating. It really is. All roads lead to Northeast PA. They just do.
It does seem that way. Kind of amazing. And again, he wasn't in town all that long. I guess, but he did, by the way, after graduation, he was in Cunningham for a time yet because he helped the Red Cross instructor teach swimming at the pool in Cunningham. So
wow.
That's all I know about him.
Well, that's quite a bit, and it's more than he's discussed now. I mean, he was the murder victim, but he's become the criminal now, and maybe appropriately so. Maybe appropriately so. When you're defending yourself in a murder case, I guess you could make any kind of accusations, and maybe they'll stick. We'll see.
Wouldn't you have heard more about it when the original trial was, and I don't remember the original trial all that much. They probably brought it up, but then it suddenly, over the years, became a big thing. But believe it or not, Bob, that documentary you watched helped them substantially.
Oh, yeah. Well, it humanized them. And you said, well, okay, they're craven, they're spoiled rich kids and all of that, but like, how long are we going to go? Because you couldn't rehabilitate them in terms of media, public perception. You had to take down their victims.
Yeah.
And that was the strategy, and it worked.
And now you got to wonder, this father who was murdered was a multimillionaire. Do they, if they are paroled, are they now then eligible for any of the money? Have they made any of the money from the documentaries or from all the publicity? Somebody's going to come up to them if they get out and say, "Look, we're going to give you X amount of money for an exclusive story."
Well, David, in today's society, murderers are pretty popular. I think they'll do just fine.
Oh, my goodness. What a shame. Well, thanks for letting me
I'm so happy you got me on this because I again, it's a story I wasn't covering, but it's always in the national news, and we're happy we covered it with you. Always a pleasure, David.
Headlines today. Hey, hang in there. Hope all your news is good.
And don't forget the David DeCosmo Daily blog on Facebook.
Absolutely.
All right, my man. Thank you. Talk soon.
Thank you, Bob.
All right. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK, the Menendez brothers. Well, Dad was from Hazleton. How about that? 1964, B.B. King, who passed away this date in 2015, he had that song, Rock Me Baby. He passed away at the age of 89. His career spanned over 60 years. He won 15 Grammys, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. I didn't even know they had one back then. His last hit was with the band U2. Remember that? When Love Comes to Town. B.B. King. We're celebrating B.B. King and Frank Sinatra today. They both passed away on May 14th. Sinatra in 1998, B.B. King 2015. All right. It is time for the news. Let's hear what Brian Hughes has to say. We're going to come back. We have Judge Anne Marie Wheatcraft. She is our candidate for Superior Court here in the state of Pennsylvania. And we're going to talk to her about that effort. We'll do it after this. Yes. Great good morning again, everyone. 10:09 a.m. here in the great Northeast. This beautiful Wednesday, May 14th, year of our Lord 2025. Well, you know it. If you don't already, maybe you're in the wrong place. I don't know. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. And it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great family of companies, to honor the veterans who we lost but celebrate today. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense after that brief news adjournment, reminding you that we are honoring veterans Brian Shannon of Exeter, Daniel Hooper, Shavertown, Mary Ada Campagna, West Pittston, Joseph Giambetti, Jessup, Ralph Lowry, Scranton, and Alan Stauffer, Zion Grove. Well, what do you think? We're watching Trump just really dominate the world stage. And it's great counterpoise to everything the Red Chinese are doing. It's really got them, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. We have so many announcements of positive announcements coming out of this administration. You can't count them. It's almost like, well, you know, we joked about it, and it is mocked, you know, that we get tired of winning. Well, somebody that we want to win, our Republican candidate for Superior Court Judge, Anne-Marie Wheatcraft. She is the president judge on that Court of Common Pleas, and she is running for Superior Court. We've had her on before. And Anne-Marie Wheatcraft, Judge, we welcome you back again to the Bob Cordaro Show.
Good morning, Bob. Thanks again for having me.
Well, I mean, you know, people don't. They don't get it the first time, maybe not the second time. The old adage in radio and advertising is when they're getting sick of it, or when you're getting sick of it, they're just starting to hear it. So we want you on all the time.
Oh, thanks, Bob. I'm happy to be here.
So, Judge, tell us, where have your travels taken you since we spoke to you last?
Well, I've been in Huntington County. I have a breakfast Saturday in Lancaster County. If you, on my website, Facebook page, you'll see a PCN interview that's been posted, and I was on the Volpe report.
Nice. I saw that. I saw you on Chuck's show.
Trying to get the message out. Yeah. Getting the message out for the primary coming up on Tuesday.
Great. Hey, so what do you say? Give us your, I guess, a portion of your stump speech. We've got a few minutes. When you appear before a group and you make your case, Judge Wheatcraft, what is it?
Well, I'm the candidate that's on the ballot on Tuesday who has the expertise and experience that you need to have coming into Superior Court. Essentially, I have been doing the job that Superior Court judges review. Mm-hmm. So Superior Court judges are reviewing the work done by the trial court judges, and that's what I've been doing for 25 years. I've been in a courtroom, first prosecuting cases and now as a judge. And I've got the experience necessary. Not only do I have tons of criminal experience, which is 60% of Superior Court's caseload, I've done the civil work, I've done the family work, I've done the dependency work. So I am the kind of person you would want to promote.
And by the way, just to point out, you've now presided over a substantially large bench as president judge in Chester County.
I do.
That administrative experience and watching everybody else's cases and all of that has also had to add a great deal to your expertise.
Yeah, sure. So we're a 15-judge bench, and I am I guess, the second most senior judge now on the bench, which is crazy because, of course, I'm not that old, but just old enough to have the perfect amount of experience. But yeah, no, certainly I'm in a position of mentoring other judges, and I love it.
Oh, neat stuff. How are you enjoying the campaigning?
I for 13 years had to be out of politics. Back in the day, I was very involved in my Chester County Republican Committee as a committee woman and as an assistant solicitor. And then once I got elected, I had to leave that world. And it's fun to be back out and have an ability to talk with people and meet people. So I am very much enjoying that opportunity because it's been a while.
And you're forced to balance your job as a judge and as the president judge in Chester County with your campaign duties, which are substantial.
Yes. Thankfully, every single one of the judges on my bench has been very, very supportive of me taking this opportunity to run. And they have been in court for me sometimes when I haven't been able to be there. A lot of the time of campaigning, I'm on the road. So there is quite a bit that I can do over the phone. Yeah. So I'm still able to have conference calls and that kind of stuff. So I'm making it work. I mean, it's a marathon I've got going here.
Judge Amory Wheatcraft is our guest, and a lot of people ask, is it Wheatcroft? I'm saying, no, it's Wheatcraft.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about your family.
So I have 2 children. My son is 30. He's a police officer in Chester County. I'm really proud of the work that he does. And it is National Law Enforcement Week this week, by the way.
Neat.
Thank you to all of our men and women who serve in law enforcement. And my daughter is in medical school in the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. She's 28. I'm very proud of her, too.
Neat.
So my kids are
what
adults.
Year is she?
Yep. She's going to be graduating next April, so she's just starting her 4th year now.
Wow. My cutie's daughter's finishing 2nd year there. How about that?
Oh,
at
really?
At PCOM, yeah.
Okay.
Neat.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's quite hard. That's harder than being even a judge.
Right?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, really. Well, we chose the easier path of the law. So, Judge, what when you look at the people that are running for the office as well, what do you think separates you from them? And it may be the same thing as your qualifications generally.
Well, the big thing that I have is that endorsement or the highly recommended rating from the Pennsylvania Bar Association. So the Pennsylvania Bar Association is the statewide organization for lawyers, and they offer to do a very in-depth investigation of anybody who's running for judge. And I had to submit so much information to them all about my career and my history, and then they investigated me, and they called random people off of the docket who've been in my courtroom to ask what they thought of being in my courtroom. They gave me their highest recommendation, and I'm really proud of that. My primary opponent chose not to participate in that process. So I think that's huge.
Well, what's also interesting there, they're not inclined to give that kind of rating to a conservative, common sense judge. That's
well,
impressive.
They're actually very bipartisan. As far as I can tell, they don't seem to have none of the interviewing that I went through, either in the interview with the attorneys, the 3 attorneys, or with the big panel. There was no mention at all of politics. So that was really nice, that they do seem to be bipartisan. But, yeah, I am very proud of the rating. And I have my local FOP endorsement, which lines me up to get the statewide FOP endorsement after the primary.
The ones that know you the best. Judge Amory Wheatcraft, we appreciate you being with us. We wish you strength and safety on the campaign trail, continuing to pursue your effort to become Superior Court judge for all of us. We thank you for your time and welcome you back anytime. Good luck next Tuesday.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Bob. Good talking with you.
We'll talk again. Judge Amory Wheatcraft, Superior Court candidate, our Superior Court candidate. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Yeah, we lost Frank this date, 1998. And this, if I had one favorite song, this would be it. Fly Me to the Moon, 1964, Murph tells us. We're doing Sinatra and B.B. King today. And my man Mark Mayer suggested, and I sent it to the Bulldog, Riding with the King. Maybe even, well, we're going to finish with My Way. We have to. But we got to sneak Riding with the King in there. So the Scranton Rag, Congress, and by the way, it was in all three papers. You're getting the same newspaper. Wilkes-Barre, Hazleton, probably Pottsville. It says Congress must defend the Constitution from Trump. That's the headline. That's the headline. And now they start off, and when you talk about left-wing lunatics, of which anybody on the editorial board of this Scranton newspaper has got to be, there's zero self-awareness. So it says, when a child throws a tantrum after he doesn't get his way, when he takes his ball and leaves the playground when he doesn't get a hit, when he takes a cookie even after Grandpa tells him it's almost dinner time, we tend not to blame the child for being incorrigible. We question the parents who continually insist he's still a great kid and none of this is a big deal anyway. And then, inexplicably, they go into this gift from Qatar of the Boeing plane. Where was the tantrum? Where was the... I mean, it's like, again, I've told you this, you've got to be incompetent at your job if you're a left-wing lunatic. You can't be good at it because you've got no concept of reality, truth, or fact. What does that opening, the spoiled, incorrigible child, have to do with the jet? And by the way, it is an American-made jet that Qatar wants to give to the United States. I'm just... Now, the other part of that, where we get into the self-awareness, that's the incompetence. It's how poorly written and thought out their gripe is. And by the way, what does accepting the gift from the government have to do with the Constitution? That's another one. That's another part. But specious, ridiculous reasoning aside, a leap to something that has no connection. What else is there? Okay? They're describing the Democrats. Who's leaving the playground taking their ball or trying to? Who's taking the cookie even after they're told, no, you're not in the majority anymore? Who's protesting about criminals? Who's flying to El Salvador? They're describing themselves. And they don't even get it. Now, they've got a solution for this child, which I wish they would use on themselves. Remember, this is an editorial in all the newspapers. This is the combined intelligence of the left-wing lunatics who write editorials for the Scranton Times, the Citizen's Voice, and whatever the hell. They're all terrible papers. Yesterday's News, Hazleton Standard-Speaker. This is the way to get the spoiled child to wait on the cookie and accept he can't do what he wants when he wants. By the way, let's talk about poor writing. They talked about getting what you want first in the opening of this editorial, and now they put them in the wrong order when they're finishing. It's poor writing, it's incompetence, and it's zero self-awareness. But they've got a solution for themselves. The way to get the spoiled child to wait on the cookie and accept he can't do what he wants when he wants is to enforce those limits with force and consistency. Thank you. thank you very much. All right, we're going to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to hear from our great sponsors. Then we're going to do our Veterans Tribute, a little weather, and guess what? It's Lorraine from Hazelton's birthday. I can't wait to hear what she has in store. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and his family of companies, like Serenity Care Personal Care. 4 personal care facilities located in Mid-Valley, Old Forge, Wyoming, and Kingston. Dementia care units at their Mid-Valley and Kingston locations. All 4 locations have been completely renovated inside and out. They're accepting new residents. It is the class of elder care in Northeast Pennsylvania. Mary Ada Campagna. She was from West Pittston. She passed away March 25th. Born in Luzerne County, one of 7 children. She was predeceased by her loving husband, Joseph. They would have celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary this year. Predeceased by all of her siblings. She attended the great Scranton Technical High School. And after graduation in 1949, she became an enlisted airman first class in the United States Air Force. She served both as a parachute rigger and later as a recruiter. She was honorably discharged in 1952. Mary Ada owned and operated a restaurant in Moscow for several years in the 70s. Prior to retirement, she was employed as a medical secretary. She was a willing nanny for family friend's young child. Oh, but there was more. Mary Ada was a current and longtime member of the Scranton North Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. She loved spending time with her grandchildren. She liked her crossword puzzles, music, just hanging out with the family. She was known by her family kind, loving, generous, humble, never boasted. She's a dedicated and loving wife, mother, and grandmother. Her children and grandchildren meant everything to her, and she will be dearly missed by them all. 38 grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren for Mary Ada Campagna. All 5 of her children survive her, spread throughout the country, but some of them local. Also surviving, 14 grandchildren. Mary Ada is also survived by 18 great-grandchildren and 6 great-great-grandchildren. Incredible legacy. Our veteran for this hour, Mary Ada Campagna. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, clouds at morning, rain and drizzle, high 65, currently about 60 degrees outside the studios here. Tonight, cloudy with a chance of showers, 58. Thursday, clouds and some sun, milder with a chance of showers, 75. And Friday gets even better in a way. Clouds and sun, chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms, 82. That's the deal. All right, well, you guys know Lorraine from Hazleton. I mean, she thinks everybody knows who she is, but let's assume you do. Well, it's her birthday. Go ahead, Bulldog, play it when you're ready. She has 2 theme songs, not just one. And here she is. Lorraine, happy birthday, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, good. I was going to say, you come on rather melancholy for a birthday girl.
Well, we all don't have cookie-cutter birthdays.
Well.
Now, I didn't call for you to expect something from me. I called for me to expect something from you.
Oh, that's right. The Bulldog has to sing happy birthday to you.
So do you.
Well, I'll maybe I may add in. I haven't decided. You know that.
No, I did it for you, and you do it for me.
Bulldog, are you ready for? He's got his headphones on, which proves he's ready.
Poor Bulldog. He's on
Lorraine,
double duty.
Lorraine, are you going to tell us how old you are? All right, so I'm going to give you an answer.
No.
When people ask you how old you are. My
39,
friend,
like Jack
my
Benny.
friend Tommy Harrison and John Harrison, that whole gang, their grandmother, she used to say, the kids would say, "How old are you, Grammy? How old are you, Grammy?" And she would say, "Can you keep a secret?" And they would say, "Oh, yeah, we can. And she'd say, "So can I."
Yeah, I think you did tell me that when you were at the house here. Yeah.
All right, so we're not going to know how old. She's ageless. We know that. All right, Bulldog, are you ready?
All right.
Go ahead. Happy birthday to you. Dear Lorraine. Ooh, we put a little bit of verve in there for you, Lorraine.
Oh, thank you, Johnny. I could count on you. He's doing double duty today. Poor Johnny.
That was a pretty good version by him. I was only, not a cappella, but I was only an accompaniment.
If that's what you want to call it. The only thing I could count on is Johnny and my fingers.
Well, come on, Lorraine.
Yeah, well.
Now everybody knows. You don't have a poem for us? You got nothing for us?
No, wait a minute. I'm present enough. I called expecting something from you, and I got.
And you got it.
One sentence, but Johnny came
No,
through.
I intoned as well. I don't think I could step on the Bulldog's singing. I think he was doing great.
That's right. Yes, he really added momentum at the end. We really came through.
Now, among the birthday wishes, Andy from Daleville says, "Good morning, Bob LTS. Please tell Lorraine that the listeners love her and happy birthday."
Thank you, Andy.
That's our family. That's our Mark Mayer checking in. He says happy birthday.
Thank you,
See
Mark.
that?
Thank you, everybody who's wishing me happy birthday.
I
wish you were
I
here.
could go through the list, but I won't.
Well, why not? I could upstage you, and that's why I called. Yeah, come on. I will go through the list. Don't hold back. You have time.
Well, I'm happy that you called in and checked in, and it was good timing, and we had time to sing the song.
Well, I
all
told
of
you
that.
I would. I made time.
Well, we're appreciative of you. We love you. You know that.
Do you? I'm
Yeah.
like shit.
All right. Well, Lorraine, thank you. We appreciate it, and we wish you the happiest of birthday. May it be, may it be everything you want it to be. But that's about your mind, not gifts and parties and all the. Let's hope there's a contentment that you have with your birthday.
That's what it's all about. But anyway, fuzzy wuzzy, that's the way it goes. But now don't forget to go through the list. Everybody was texting me, because
somebody
that'll
in
make my
Mary
day.
Regina says it too. They're all saying it. I mean, come on.
Thank you, everybody.
All right,
Mary
darling.
Regina and everybody.
Well, we love you, and we're happy you called in, and we're happy the Bulldog got to sing.
Yeah, thank you.
He's a ham and a half. He's like you. He will insert himself at a moment's notice.
That's right. Well, that's what I said. Thank God for Johnny L. and the Bulldog and everybody and everything. So, and who else should I go for? Navy guy.
Cinder block, slick.
Yes, my
Body
slick
shop guy.
Yeah.
Truck
and
sales guy.
who's that other guy that? Come on. Oh, the dude. He didn't know. He left town.
Yeah, the dude. That's right. Poet Joe.
Poet Joe. Oh yeah. I'm Poet Lorraine.
And Poet Joe says, tell Johnny, this is for the Bulldog, not you. He said he could give Marilyn Monroe a good run for her money any day.
That's right.
All right, darling. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so long.
Happy birthday, Lorraine. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Nice. B.B. King, who Murph tells us we lost this date, 2015. Riding with the King. That song brought to our attention, Love It, by Mark Mayer. So I'm reading PA homepage. And incumbent Mayor Paige Cognetti running for a second full term. She won a special election in 2019 and was reelected in 2021. Her administration points to economic progress, where? That they had anything to do with, where? Increased transparency. You can't even get into City Hall. You cannot get a meeting with the mayor. Unless it's, and by the way, no one has asked her, because we've got such a crack staff and crack editorial page at the Scranton Times, are you running for Congress? Are you merely using the people of Scranton? Well, the answer is yes. Now, they cite reinvestment in public safety and neighborhoods. Well, they're all falling apart. We were talking with Bobby Sheridan yesterday. I've got two, and I mean, these are hulking condemned buildings, and they've been there for over 5 years. Clay Avenue, Scranton. Disgrace. Dangerous. All that. Can't even knock a building down. She says, we're excited to continue to invest in public safety. How? I don't get it. Keep that financial stability going. Well, Mayor Courtwright did that for you. He sold the sewer authority. Period. You didn't have anything to do with it. In fact, you've got a fake budget this year, Mayor Cognetti, which is going to require a tax increase next year. He says, we're making sure we're pinching every penny. Yes, millions of dollars to consultants to tell you what to do. Millions of dollars of our tax money. They're pinching it, though. Yeah, they're pinching it out of our pockets. I'm a Scranton resident. And to work on road safety as well. Now, she says, we really want to focus on the safety of our roads. It's like Fallujah after the Russians left. Oh, my gosh. Safety of our roads. Wow. They say the exact opposite of that, which is true. That's the problem with Sinatra and B.B. King. Where do you cut into the song? New York, New York from 1979. Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program. Victor Alfieri lunch tomorrow. I almost forgot about it. One of you great listeners reminded me of it. Good stuff. I don't know what they're having tomorrow, but the pasta and the sauce are always outstanding. They'll have Manesse sometimes with sausage, which is cheating a little bit. But they've got that amazing West Side sauce. And everybody, I'm going to tell you how good the sauce is. Everybody takes credit for it. St. Lucie says it's their sauce. Yeah, it's great. But they have Manesse, they have polenta. This is on alternating months. And what was the third? Tripe. They're all amazing. By the way, Cabinet Guy says Bob Sheridan's commercial is great. Pointing and yeah, it's not hard to do. Nothing is getting done except political correctness. Oh, they move lightning fast when they want to put Joe Biden signs up, but they couldn't, over 5 years' time, couldn't put up regular street signs for the rest of us. Well, I challenge her to come on the show anytime, and I don't challenge her. I welcome her to come on the show anytime, Mayor Cognetti. And I welcome, as we did with Bob Sheridan, to host a debate. And if you don't want to do it on this show, I'm sure Sue Henry and Rob O'Donnell would do it as well. The morning show is probably in the tank for you, so what would the point be? But that's the deal. But do it there. I don't know if they can. They just have too many, with the traffic and the weather and all the things they've got to do. We can sneak it in here. So you're welcome to debate Bobby Sheridan. Former cop, business guy. He's been around. He's asking all the right questions, and he would be effective. You know what our horrible newspaper is going to do. They're going to endorse her because they're the people who just wrote about children throwing tantrums. Well, that's the Democrats. That's them. They're throwing a tantrum. And they never explain how Trump is attacking the Constitution so that the Congress must defend it. Defend it against what? A gift to the Defense Department of a jet, which would be used while we're waiting till 2027. Look at Boeing has screwed up a lot. Somebody says, what's Bob Sheridan's stance on the Biden signs? He wants them down. I want them down. It's a public embarrassment. And my original thought is, okay, name the expressway after him. But that's even worse. Because the 20, 30, I've heard numbers as high as 60, but the 20,000 cars going by those signs on Route 81 every day must think we're a bunch of boobs. President Joe Biden Expressway. They got to be saying, what? Are these people that backward? They think he was a good president? They think he should be honored with a gateway to the city? No, Mayor Cognetti and Bill Gaughan thought so. And they wagged their tails and panted when Joe Biden came in, talked gibberish, stood there, by the way, without masks. all the big COVID crusaders stood with Joe Biden, packing in tight to make sure they get in the photographs and on TV, packing in tight without those masks, While they all warned us all we needed them. Oh, this is what you got to do. You cannot make up how phony this all is. You cannot. It's sad. All right, let's finish the hour on a high note, not on Mayor Many Names. May 14th, pothole page. May 14th, Mother Teresa, St. Teresa. Don't allow anything to interfere with your love for Jesus. You belong to him. Nothing can separate you from him. That one sentence is important to remember. He will be your joy, your strength. If you hold on to that sentence, that you belong to him, temptations and difficulties will come, but nothing will break you. Remember, you have been created for great things. St. Teresa for today. Great way to go into the news. We'll come back after this. Bob Schlesinger's our guest. He's got this one-act play that, through the auspices of our great Unico, he's going to be performing at Lackawanna College. And we're going to talk about the play, how it came about, what it's for, and it's about our man Gino Murley, Congressional Medal of Honor winner. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. They love and respect Trump over in the Middle East, man. Wow. Great good morning. It's 11:07 a.m. here in the great Northeast this beautiful Wednesday, May 14th, 2025, 60 degrees. Just outside the studios. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great family of companies, to honor the brave we've lost, who made us and kept us free. People like Alan Stauffer, Zion Grove, Joseph Giambetti, Jessup, Ralph Lowry, Scranton, Mary Ada Campagna, West Pittston, Brian Shannon, Exeter, and Daniel Hooper, Shavertown. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense. Yep. Reminding you the Bob Cordaro Show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. Double entendre intended. We have a commitment to common sense, which is why this is the Club for Common Sense. And we will be providing for you, for the balance of this hour, a sanctuary of sanity in a mad, 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 mad world where we've lost an entire political party to lunacy. Hey, on a better note, Armed Forces Day Parade Association, we've had those guys on. There's the 9 a.m. Heroes of All Kinds 5K this Saturday, May 17th. The parade begins at the Geno Murley Center, concludes at the Courthouse Square in Scranton. All kinds of neat military equipment. The 5K at 9, the Armed Forces Day Parade starts at 11. You're going to love it if you go. Your kids are going to love it. Your grandkids are going to love it. Yep. Peter Fitzwell from Kingston says, thanks for Scranton pothole warning. I'll be there next week with a driving helmet on. yeah, you almost need one. Well, there's a great thing happening, as there always are, by the way. A great thing happening in Scranton very soon. And that is the last thoughts of Geno Murley, a one-man, one-act play. Scranton Unico's doing it. A great, and I mean, I will wager to say brilliant writer, Tom Flannery, the son of Joseph X. Flannery. But it's the last thoughts of Geno Murley. People's Security Bank Theater at Lackawanna College, Thursday, May 22nd. So that's next Thursday. 2 shows. 10 a.m. free of charge for students, and one at 7 o'clock for us. $10. The proceeds benefit the tremendous Geno Murley Veterans Center. All of a piece with this great parade happening Saturday. And Bob Schlesinger is the man. I first saw him in championship season by Jason Miller. So this guy's been around. Bob Schlesinger, welcome back to the Bob Cordaro Show.
It is a pleasure, Robert. Thanks for having me.
You the man. Tell us about this play that you're putting on next Thursday.
Well, you prefaced it by saying that Tom Flannery wrote the play, and Tom is Joseph X's son. And we've been doing this since 2007.
Yeah.
We've done it at 37 high schools throughout northeastern Pennsylvania and at various other performing arts stages. And now we're doing it hopefully to develop the general public's audience. But so far, we've had over 60,000 people see the play at these various performances. That's a record for a one-act play, and I am so proud to be a part of it.
Bob Schlesinger, you were executive director for many years of the
We're
Scranton
46
Public
years
Theater.
old, Bob.
Wow.
We're 46, which I'm a little bit younger than that, but...
Well, you were
anyway,
a young kid.
That's a lie, Bob. What I just told you was a lie.
when you played the defiant teacher in championship season with Jason
You mean the
Miller,
movie?
In the movie, yeah. When you played that part, you were a young kid then.
Well, yes, I was. I was. I have to say, I no longer am, Bob. You know, I called you at 10 o'clock this morning, and I went, wait a minute. He told me it was 11. So the senior citizens part of me has stepped in.
Well, listen.
But anyway,
it had to be one or the other of us. But Bob, you've been promoting theater. And
professional theater, Robert.
Yeah, professional
I have to
theater.
say that.
That's right. Professional theater, yourself and with your friend Jason Miller for decades now.
Yes.
And it just stays at a level that people could truly be proud of.
Well, it's the only job I've ever had. So I can't fire myself. At least my board of directors won't do that. So I could be going for as long as my time is left on the planet. So anyway, I love it. This play is 50 minutes long. It's a quick 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Flannery wrote himself a wonderful piece of theater. I've been doing it for 60 performances. Michael Fallon, prior to me, did it for 60. So we're at the 120 mark for performances. And it just keeps on going. It's like the Energizer Bunny. It just keeps on going and going. So I'm not going to let it drop. And then when I got involved with the guys from Unico, with Scranton Public Theater, those guys did it 2 years ago. And when I approached them again, they said, Bob, let's do it again. Yeah. And this was Chris DiMatteo and Charlie Spano, Mike Linko. They're the hierarchy right now at the Scranton Unico. But we've gotten Carbondale and the Keystone Unico guys to help us out. And, of course,
only
Gino
in Lackawanna
Murley.
County can we have 3 Unicos.
That's a whole different story, Bob. That's another show.
Not for us to get involved in, but yeah.
I'm
a Unican. No. I don't even know which one I'm a member of. There's so
many. They consider you a member of all of them.
Right.
So
I love
let's put it that way.
Well, so Unico is doing this, and they're great. It's just a great group of people.
Well, La Festa.
Yep. And so much else.
So those guys truly love this area. And, Murley is probably the most, I'm going to say this. He's one of the most decorated Italians in the history of our region. Of course, he was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for World War II, his bravery on the battlefield. And the story is compelling. It is just a great story. And when Tom approached me as a producer to produce the play, I went, Tom, that's a great idea. His dad had given him the idea. And so what happened was I told him, write the play. And 3 days later, he comes back to me with the script.
Wow.
And I went, boy, well, you didn't fiddle around, did you?
He's a great writer.
And yeah, and yet I wasn't quite sure I could sell it to the general public from a producer's point of view, but I knew that I could sell it to the schools. So that's how we got into the school systems. And like I said, this is not any BS. This is 37 high schools from Northwest area down in Chick-Shinny to Blue Ridge, up there in New Milford, to Stroudsburg Area High School, to all the schools in Lackawanna County, and most of them in Luzerne County, Wyoming County, Susquehanna County, and I could go on and on. And the reason being is some of these schools have had us back 3 to 4 times.
Yeah. Now, the last thoughts of Gino Murley, what does it focus on? What does obviously the end of his life?
It tells the story of Gino. We go back. He was 19 years old when this happened on the battlefield, and it's the thoughts were that he killed 51 Germans a really scary night in Belgium. And so we try to capture that. We give you insight into what he was like as a dad, as someone who was highly respected here in Lackawanna County, all over northeastern Pennsylvania. I don't think there's anybody who hasn't heard of him. There's the Geno J. Murley Veterans Center in downtown Scranton, which will be a beneficiary of this piece of theater. There's Murley Sarnosky Park. There's Geno Murley Drive. There's on the 10th floor at the Veterans Hospital in Wilkes-Barre, he's got a memoriam, and the people of Belgium loved him.
Yeah.
So he certainly left his mark.
I've got to, it was in my Chamber of Commerce political days. I got to be with him so often, Geno Murley, because he would be. I
met him twice.
Yeah, he would.
I know his family well. Chet Murley.
Great people.
Yeah,
and he was so unassuming, Bob Schlesinger. He just did his job. That's how he looked at it. That's it.
No, he was a very humble man.
Yep.
And he didn't want to talk about it.
No.
Because he always felt that the guys who didn't make it home were the heroes, the true heroes.
Yep.
And so as a result, he spent 45 years working at the Veterans Hospital in Wilkes-Barre, dealing with the Italian Americans who struggled learning the English language. And he also dealt with those who were affected by PTSD, Agent Orange, because they wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
He could understand what they were trying to tell him. And so that's why he worked there for 45 years. He gave of himself. And, as a guy who's produced many different plays and been in films, this is one of my favorite pieces ever.
Bob Schlesinger, tell us about, now it's next Thursday, May 22nd, at the People's Security Bank Theater at Lackawanna College. It's only $10. Come on. I love the fact that it's 50 minutes because I don't have an attention span anymore to go far beyond that. I love that.
So, yeah, and it's a quick 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Because the story is so compelling that I've done this play in front of 900 people, and you could hear a pin drop. And I said to one of the principals at one of the schools, I said, well, were they sleeping or were they listening? And he said, Bob, they were listening.
Rapt attention. I've heard this.
Yeah. And so I just went, boy, we're on to something. So we published the script. The script is published. You can buy it there that night. Also, we're working on getting it beyond the Valley because being a producer and has to earn a living in the theater, which people think I'm nuts, but that's okay. That's what I was supposed to do with my life. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I met you through your mom and dad.
That's right. That's right.
And they're great people, by the way. I saw your dad just the other day.
See Santinello and Dobbs. I mean,
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Those guys. And some of those guys. Tony, I just had lunch with him the other day.
Nice.
So,
hey,
yeah.
Bob Schlesinger, let's ask, not a technical question, but how do you approach a one-man play any differently than a play where you're part of an ensemble cast?
Well, in a lot of ways, I do have other characters working with me. The lighting and the sound to this, I always thought they were major characters. Mm-hmm. So Jimmy Langan, his mother was Ellen Langan of Scranton Central High School, and a legend in her own right. Yep. She's gone now, but Jimmy's my technical director, and he does a tremendous job supporting me on the stage with all the sound effects and lights because they're very important. And the night that Murley, I don't want to say achieved, saved a lot of American soldiers' lives was the loneliest, longest, and scariest night of his life. So, there's a lot in this play. I just saw somebody the other day. I was downtown in Scranton, and they came up to me and said, I saw that play at Dunmore High School.
Yeah.
said, that play is great. I said, well, you got to come and see again. She said, I will. I'm going to bring friends.
I can't wait to see it again. I cannot wait.
Well,
we got to go this go round. We're going to have you on again to remind people about this.
You're the best.
Man, great stuff.
You got a great show here, Bob.
Thank you, my man. Thursday, May 22nd. 2 shows.
10 a.m. in the morning.
10 a.m. for the students.
All students are free. So that's even for the evening performance.
And then,
but we wanted to
$10, and it benefits the Gino Murley Veteran Center on top of all of that. Incredible, great stuff. You're doing great work.
Hopefully, we'll get a good crowd there, and they'll walk out of there feeling like, boy, that was really good theater. It's funny. Murley had a great sense of humor too.
Yes, he did. Nice guy.
And he was loved.
Yep.
And I've, as a performer, I've gotten to the point where Jason Miller used to always say to me, you can't do a character unless you love them. And that could be many different types.
Yeah.
And I said to him, you can't help but love this guy. So it helps me. I'm well prepared. It's just me. There's no safety net. So I better be prepared. Let's put it that way.
Well, I am looking forward to it. I look forward to our next conversation on this play next week. Thank you, Bob Schlesinger. Appreciate it.
And thank you, Bob Cordaro, for having me.
All right, my man. Last thoughts of Gino Murley. A great play, and it's going to be delivered to perfection. Next Thursday, May 22nd, 7 o'clock at the People's Security Bank Theater at Lackawanna College. I can't wait for it. We'll take a break and be back. Our veterans this hour are brought to you by John Basiliga and one of his great companies, Serenity Care Personal Care Communities. 4 locations in the Lackawanna County's Mid-Valley, Old Forge, Wyoming, and Kingston. Personal care services, dementia care services. Their dementia care units are located in the Mid-Valley and Kingston locations. The dementia units and all 4 personal care locations have been completely renovated inside and out to accept new residents. John has a passion providing the highest quality senior care in the area and beautiful personal care homes for seniors to live in. Amenities galore, all-inclusive monthly rent, individually controlled heating and cooling, spacious activity rooms, good food, on-site therapy, lab and x-ray services, spiritual and religious services on-site, 24/7 staffing. Alan Stauffer, he died March 24th. He was from Zion Grove. Born in Ringtown, he was a 1947 graduate of the former Nuremberg High School. He began working on the railroad and then as a welder, retiring from Cleveland Brothers Equipment Company. All through his life, he also worked on his family's farm. Alan Stauffer, he enjoyed hunting, fishing, and bowling. He bowled a perfect 300 game. Any of us who've been on the lanes knows how amazing that is. He's survived by his wife of over 72 years, the former Mildred Hart. Also survived by his 2 children, 2 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandsons. Alan Stauffer. Ralph Lowry, he was from Scranton. He was only 77 when he died March 18th. He's survived by his wife, Michelle Langan Lowry. They were together for 44 years. He was born in Scranton. Ralph Lowry was a 1965 graduate of West Scranton High School and a graduate of Johnson College. A Navy veteran, petty officer 2nd class, and ship barber serving on the USS Chevalier. He was employed as a welder at Elliott Company for many years, welding fuel tanks for space shuttles. He enjoyed fishing, golfing. He was an accomplished photographer. Preceded in death by many of his family members. Ralph Lowry. Joseph Giambetti. He died March 23rd at the age of 92 at the Gino Murley Veterans Center. He was from Jessup. Preceded in death by his beloved wife of 30 years, Joan Lupini Giambetti. He graduated from Jessup High School, one of the Green Wave. After graduation, he entered the Army, where he served with the 1st Division, 26th Infantry, 2nd Battalion Fox Company as a barman. He married his high school sweetheart Joan in 1959. They moved to Connecticut, where he worked for Sikorsky Aircraft as a sheet metal mechanic in the 60s. He moved back to Pennsylvania. He owned and operated a Sunoco full-service inspection station in Archbald. After selling the Sunoco, he worked at Schuylkill in Scranton, retiring at the age of 60. Joe loved the swing dance, loved the poets and fancy dancer. He enjoyed gardening and swimming. Survived by 2 children and 4 grandchildren. His family wants to thank the great caregivers at Gino Murley Veterans Center. Joseph Giambetti. Our great veterans, brought to you this hour and every hour by John Basiliga and his Serenity Care Personal Care Communities. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, clouds with morning rain and drizzle, 65. Tonight, cloudy with a chance of showers, low 58. Thursday, clouds and some sun, milder with a chance of showers, 75. Friday, 82. Clouds and sun. Chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms. So good day there. All right. Well, Lynn Lebrowski is running for the Republican nomination for mayor in the city of Scranton. She is with us. Lynn, how are you? Welcome back to the Bob Cordaro Show.
How you doing, Bob? Lynn Lebrowski.
I know it. I just said it. How are you, Lynn?
There might have been a delay. Good. How are you?
Great. So how goes the campaign? We're headed into the last weekend of the campaign. I always was so happy when it was the last weekend of a campaign.
Yeah, we're in the home stretch. Lots going on.
What do you have happening, and what are you doing and focusing on as you head into this final weekend?
I'm focusing on every detail I possibly could. So, Chris Kelly wrote an article in the newspaper calling me the front runner for the Republican ticket.
Well, that's a kiss of death.
And basically saying I could win the whole election. Well, next thing you know, I get scrubbed from the article. There's no photo. They put me in the obituaries. But listen, Fox 56 showed up. They have integrity. They reported on it. WBRE came out yesterday, did an interview with all the candidates, and 16 reached out to ask about election night. Apparently, they don't plan on reporting anything before election because they don't want to be political. So, the media is interesting.
What will you be doing this final weekend?
So Saturday night, if anyone's interested, from 5 to 8 p.m., it'll be the same day as the Armed Forces Day Parade at the VFW on Rockwell Ave, which is 2291 Rockwell. Again, 5 to 8 p.m. I'll be having a meet and greet event. If anybody wants to meet and greet that night and see who their candidates are, they're more than welcome to come. It's a $25 suggested donation that includes music, food, and drinks.
Nice. Well, still door-to-door going on?
Yeah, it's door-to-door, phone calls, volunteering, city council, neighborhood groups, same things I've been doing for years.
Well, at city council last night, it was sent to me by executive producer Mr. Paul. We had a little bit of a rant from, what is it? I shouldn't be blanking on the name, but the woman who calls herself or wants to be referenced as doctor on
Dr.
Rothschild. Okay, yes, my apologies. My apologies to Doctor. My apologies to her as well. But she went on a rant just to tell you about trans people in sports, which, as far as I know, the city of Scranton doesn't run any sports teams, and I forget some other usual left-wing lunacy. And I'm like, what in God's name? Lynn, you're going to have one heck of a council to deal with there. Boy, oh boy.
Well, council's important too. So, again, there's a lot of candidates. Get to know them, vote for the right candidates because council and mayor have to work together, So, yeah. And Democrats and Republicans got to stop with their nonsense. People got to get along and find solutions. They're too busy arguing.
Let me be frank, though, Lynn. To get along with Dr. Rothschild when all she cares about, she doesn't care about the city of Scranton. She cares about left-wing lunatic trans and environmental policies. What do you do with that? There's no common ground. There is no common ground, nor can you have it.
Well, you need 3 votes. So, as long as you have 3 good people on council and common sense decisions being passed down, I don't see a problem.
Well, Gary Allegrucci says, way to go and good luck.
I love Gary. He's a good customer and a good friend.
All right. Well, Liz.
But yeah, and then Tuesday night, election night, if anybody's interested, probably starting around 7 p.m. before the polls close, I'll be having an event at Clarkie's Billiards on 850 Providence Road.
Oh, that's a great place.
Yeah. My friend of mine owns it.
That's different than Clarkie's a great guy. That's different than the usual place. I love it.
Well, you know what? I'm doing a grassroots campaign. So if you saw City Council last night, you'll understand that my 3 other candidates that are running have tons of money to burn. I don't. So I'm trying to just be clever and find free ways to do things and not spend a ton of money. So I'm already like a step ahead for City Hall because I like to save money, not spend it. And if I do spend it, I like to spend it very wisely.
That would be refreshing. Lynn Lebrowski, Republican candidate for mayor, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We appreciate the fact that you're running and trying to make our city better.
Well, thanks for your time, Bob. And if anybody's interested, I'm going to be on Sue Henry at 12:30.
Oh, great. Well, I'm
All
always
right.
interested in whatever Sue Henry has on, so that's good stuff. Thank you, Lynn Lebrowski. Appreciate it.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Everybody get out to vote next Tuesday. It's really important.
It is important. It is. Guys, you got to vote. You got to vote. Hey, I've got to play something for you. We keep talking about these fools in the media, the liars, the phonies. And Lawrence O'Donnell is one of the prime examples. And by the way, he's looking haggard because he's fighting. He's just fighting with lies and falsehoods. Now, you know that we just signed the outline of a deal which is going to hold true for 90 days with China. You know that China came begging and then met with us in Geneva, Switzerland. Now, if I could catch this at the beginning, I just want you to hear Lawrence O'Donnell. Insane. I've got to try to get it at the beginning. How do you lie like Lawrence O'Donnell did, saying that the Chinese are eating our lunch and that we could never defeat them in the negotiations, we could never get a fair deal with China, and we're afraid of them, and on and it's a rant that doesn't even make sense. Calling the Trump team cowards 1,000% through and through, basically praising the Chinese who are screwing us, who are our primary geopolitical opponent. I mean, these people continue to be insane. Here, let's catch it midstream because there's not much sensible in there.
Up the phone. He's sending out a spokesperson to say, we'll fight to the end. No one in the Trump administration has said, we will fight to the end. Donald Trump wouldn't dare say today, we will fight to the end. His Treasury Secretary didn't dare say, we'll fight to the end.
Yeah, that's a great way to negotiate.
Clownish.
Insane.
Commerce.
Stupid.
Wouldn't dare say we'll fight to the end because they won't. Because they've already lost. Donald Trump is publicly begging President Xi to call him. And President Xi is not calling.
The 2 days after he does this, they make a deal with the Red Chinese. The Red Chinese meet with them last weekend in Geneva, Switzerland. And then he'll go back to another lie. It's outrageous. It's literally beyond the pale. I read you this idiotic editorial from the fools at the Scranton Times and the Citizen's Voice and the whatever. And then they'll come up with another lie and something else foolish that they are outraged about. And then they'll do it again once that's proven wrong. And then they'll do something else. Somebody takes in, Bob, please let me know who's voting for Dr. Rothschild. By the way, she's not a medical doctor. She's obviously quite proud of her doctorate in physical therapy. But, man, that's a little confusing, frankly. And to have that on the nameplate, it's just whatever. But somebody says, Bob, please let me know who's voting for Dr. Rothschild once her positions on the issues are heard, like men and women's sports and other unpopular transgender issues. And then the illegals. The lie that they're hunting down illegals, they're gonna. It's us next. It's citizens next. But see, they'll just go on to the next lie, and the next lie. And by the way, she runs and she says, "Well, I'm a lesbian." Well, fine. First of all, who cares? But that's another part of the thing. But apparently, we're supposed to care. That's a qualification. All right. So I would ask her pointedly, Dr. Rothschild, what special advantages are you entitled to as a lesbian, as a gay person? Well, the answer is none. And so why should a trans person have special privileges, like competing in girls' sports, just for the perfect example, like using any bathroom they wish to, as you advocate? These people are insane. You really can't give them any credit for any level of thinking. It's insanity. That's what they're pursuing. One of our listeners says, the left's throwing the whole pot of spaghetti against the wall to see if anything will stick. So far, no luck. And they just attack anything. They'll go visit criminals at taxpayer expense in El Salvador. They'll try to break into an ICE facility holding illegal aliens who are also criminals. That's what they're doing. And then they mischaracterize those of us who disagree with them. I've got all the compassion in the world for someone born with gender dysphoria. All the compassion in the world. God bless you. You need all kinds of support from all of us. Now, the problem where we differ is on two major issues, Dr. Rothschild. You can't mutilate children pharmacologically or surgically. Those are adult decisions to be made by the adult. And I'm not talking about the parents. I'm talking about the person actually experiencing it. And if you're experiencing gender dysphoria, it does not entitle you to behave or to participate as the opposite sex from which you were born. Not in sports. By the way, you can dress any way you want at school, all of that. But you got a bathroom you got to use. Unless they've got 3. You've got sports you cannot participate in opposite your born sex. Other than that, adult decision. You make that decision. We love you. We have ultimate compassion for you. But we're not going to let you destroy your life or have idiot parents do the same. And we're not going to let idiot politicians like Dr. Rothschild do the same. Live your life, make your decision as an adult, and go for it. We had Marty Flynn on, state senator, Democrat. He says there's 5 or 6 Democrats. Well, that's shameful. That will vote against boys and young men in girls and women's sports. Okay. You mean 5 out of 25? And let's see if it ends up being that number. Are the only people who have any sense in the Democrat Senate in Harrisburg? I'd get the hell out of that party. Wow. Chuck Schumer, I'm looking at Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer. There couldn't be 2 more idiotic people on the planet. There really couldn't be. And unfortunately, they're replicated over and over again with liars, phonies, and hypocrites who say the opposite of that which is true and proclaim the opposite of that which they are trying to do. Bloomberg Money Minute. We'll be back. Yeah, well, we lost Frank Sinatra this date, 1998, so we figured, of course, we'll finish with My Way from Old Blue Eyes to wrap things up. And a final mention of our great veterans brought to you by John Basiliga, Joseph Giambetti, Jessup, Ralph Lowry, Scranton, Alan Stauffer, Zion Grove, Mary Ada Campagna, West Pittston, Brian Shannon of Exeter, Daniel Hooper of Shavertown. Sue Henry Show next. Rob O'Donnell Show after that. We're going to finish with Frank. I can't step on this song too much. You know that. So I tell you, God willing, I'll be back with you tomorrow morning. In the meantime, have a great afternoon. Listening to our gang here. Appreciate being with you more than you could know. But for now, we must gavel to a close this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, letting you finish off with Frank. Have a great afternoon.